What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this install guide, we're going to show you guys how to assemble the rear axle on the Battle Aero Drift Karts. If you guys are interested in your own Battle Aero Drift Kart, be sure to check them out at our website at www.battleaero.com. So let's go down the parts list. So you have axle bearings, you have a rear brake bracket, we have sprockets, brake rotors, sprocket hub, wheel hubs, and here is our updated and new axle. Our new axle has a channel for C-clips. If you guys are interested in upgrading your axles, you can go ahead and check out our website at www.battleaero.com. But if you have our old axles, those work just fine. As you can see on our new axles, it has a channel so you can apply a C-clip so you can secure the hubs a little better. So now let's go over the hardware list. Starting from the left, we have some shaft collars, shaft keys, rotor screws, and here are the axle C-clips for the updated new axles. If you have the old axles, you don't need these. We also have a set of M6 by 20 bolts, M6 nuts, M6 washers, 3/8 by 1 3/4 bolts, 3/8 nylon nuts, 3/8 washers, some wheel washers, wheel studs, and then lastly, wheel lug nuts. Alrighty, so before we start the installation, let's go over the tools that we need. So let's start from the left. You'll need a Allen key set, a marker, optional WD-40, a socket set with a 10mm and 14mm socket. Also, you need a 14mm wrench, a 10mm wrench, hammer, C-clip tool, measuring tape, optional drill, and a fowler. We're gonna assemble some of the pieces before we put it on the cart. If you guys have the old axles, the install is pretty much the same. The only difference with this new axle is the C-clip. So let's start with the install. So you're gonna grab both collars and you're gonna insert it into the axle. And then you're gonna grab the wheel bearing and make sure that it's going in this orientation, and you're gonna put it on each side. Now that you're done, let's move over to the back of the drift cart. Grab the set of 3/8 hardware, 3/8 nylon nuts, and 3/8 washers. Put it on the cart. You want to push the collars and axle bearings towards the center, and then you can place it on the frame. Once it's on the frame, you can push the collar and axle bearings out until it meets the frame. Before we secure the axle bearings, this is a very important step to follow before you insert the bolts. So depending on which motor you're planning to run, on this cart we are going to install the 10 kilowatt electric motors. So for the electric motors, you're going to insert all the bolts from the right side and it's going to come out to the left on both sides. On the electric setup, the rear brake setup is going to be on the left side. We made it this way so it's easier for you guys to service your axles or your rear brakes. Now, if you have a gas motor, you're going to insert all the bolts from the left side coming out to the right. On the gas motor, the rear brake caliper setup is on the right side. So now you're going to go ahead and grab a 3/8 bolt and insert a washer. And since it's going to be an electric setup, we're going to insert it from the right coming to the left. After you got the bolts in, secure it with the nylon nut. Here's a little quick tip. Spray a little bit of WD-40 inside the nylon because we found that it makes it a little bit more smoother for the install. Fasten the nut and bolt with a 14mm wrench and 14mm socket. Let's move on to the left side. Insert the 3/8 bolt without the washer from the right side coming out to the left. And then since we're installing a 10 kilowatt electric motor, the brake caliper setup is going to be on the left. So insert the brake bracket and then washer and then secure it with the nylon nut. Spray a little bit of WD-40 inside the nylon nut and then you can tighten the nut and bolt with a 14mm socket and wrench. After you got the axle bearings secured, now we're going to center the rear axle. So grab a measuring tape and measure from the frame to the end of the axle and make sure it's about 7 7/8 on both sides. Make sure you are measuring from the frame and not the brake bracket to the end of the axle. So axle to frame, axle to frame, and just make sure those two numbers are 7/7/8 and your axle is centered. So to push in the axle a little bit, we're going to use a mallet and we're going to lightly tap it, and then we're going to measure it to make sure it's correct on both sides. Once you got the axle centered, now you want to push the collars all the way until it meets the axle bearing, and then tighten the collars by fastening the two Allen bolts. Step is we're going to install the rotors. So grab two shaft collars, one shaft key, and both rotor screws. This is a shaft key that we provide. This is going to prevent the rotors from spinning freely on the axle. Now, we purposely gave you an oversized shaft key to guarantee a tight fit. Now, on some of the axles, you may need to shave a little bit off the top just to get it to fit. So to see how much you need to shave, so place the shaft key on the channel and grab the rotor and lightly tap it in, and if you don't see going in, then take the shaft key out, shave a little bit off the top, and test it again until it fits. Again, you do want to lightly tap it in. You don't want it to just easily slide in because you want the shaft key to have a tight fit. Once you make sure the shaft key fits, now you can insert one collar and then push it all the way in and then slide the rotor in. If you look on top, you want to make sure the rotor doesn't touch. So leave about a 5 to 10 millimeter gap between the bolt and the rotor. A little quick note, when you're installing caliper, you may need to move the rotor in or out, but you'll do the final adjustments when you install the rear calipers. So now that we got our collar in place, we're gonna remove the rotor, and then now we're gonna tighten the collar so it stays in place. So you got the collar in place your shaft key and make sure it's flush with the collar. Use a little bit of hammer to tap it in inside the channel, and then you can slide in the rotors. Make sure the channel goes through the shaft key as well. You can use a hammer to tap in the rotor into the shaft key until it's flush with the collar. Once you got the rotor in place, there is a little bit of extra material on the shaft key. Now, this is an optional choice, and if you have access to an angle grinder, you can mark it and you can trim it until it's flush with the rotor. That way, when we put the other collar in, it's fully secured from the collar alone. But if you don't have access to an angle grinder or you're not comfortable with it, don't worry about it. You could run the setup as is, because whether you cut it or not, we will insert a rotor screw to secure the rotor in place so it doesn't move. Once you got the key trimmed, you can place the rotor back into the axle. After you got the rotor in, go ahead and insert another collar to sandwich the rotor. And then you can tighten the two Allen bolts to secure the collar. Now the next step is you're going to rotate the rotor until you find a threaded hole, and now you're going to insert one rotor screw to secure the rotor. The set screw locks the rotor in place. Tighten that down. Install the rotors. Now we're going to install the sprocket and the sprocket hub. So here are the hardware that you need. So you need the M6x20 bolts, the M6 nuts, M6 washers, and a shaft key, as well as two shaft collars. Before you install the sprocket, make sure the markings on the sprocket line up. Let's start assembling the sprocket. So first, grab the sprocket and place the sprocket onto the sprocket hub. Make sure the holes line up, and then grab a M6 bolt and insert it through the sprocket and thread it into the sprocket hub. We usually like to have the sprocket side with the number facing upwards. So make sure you have the numbers facing upwards, and you should see two line markings on each sprocket, and they line up when they meet on the sprocket hub. Once you got all the bolts hand threaded in, make sure both of the sprocket are touching each other. So if they aren't, this is the chance to now push them towards the center of the sprocket hub, and then you can start fastening all the M6 bolts. Once you got all the M6 screws fastened on the backside, now flip the sprocket, and then now you're going to secure the screws by inserting a washer and nylon nut. Do the same thing for all 6 bolts, and then you can tighten down the nylon nuts. Finish assembling the sprocket on the sprocket hub, now we can move over to the cart. So I want to reiterate again, since we're installing the 10 kilowatt electric motor, we're going to be installing the sprocket on the right side. So to begin the install, we're going to insert a collar, but make sure you don't insert it all the way where it's touching the frame. You want to leave a little bit of gap, and you always want to leave a little bit of gap so the collar doesn't run on the frame when you're spinning the axle. Just want to make a quick note, you will have to make adjustments to the collar and the sprocket to align it with your electric motor setup. So we're gonna lock it up and we're gonna secure the collars now just so it's in place. Tying the 2 Allen bolts. So we're gonna insert the shaft key into the channel of the axle. Now on the older axle, you may need to shave a little bit off the top of the shaft key to make sure the sprocket hub slides through. Once you got the key to fit, you can insert the sprocket hub and lightly tap it in until it's flush with the collar. So once you got the sprockets in and it's flush with the collar, you can tighten the 2 Allen bolts to secure the sprocket. Again, you will have to make adjustments to your sprocket and collar to align with your electric setup. You tighten down the sprocket hubs, now you can insert another collar to sandwich the sprocket hub. Once you have it nice and flush with the sprocket hub, you can tighten the 2 Allen bolts to secure the collar. After you got the sprocket installed, now we can install the wheel hubs. So first, we're gonna grab the wheel washers, wheel studs, wheel lug nuts, 2 shaft keys, axle C-clip. This is only for the new axle only, by the way. If you have the old axles, you can ignore this. And then the last 2 shaft collars. Before we install the wheel hubs, we will need to file the shaft key a little bit just on the edge. So what we're pretty much doing is just tapering off the top part of it so it slides in easier. So here's a clear shot of how much we filed. We only tapered off the top of one of the edges, so it's easier to slide on when we put on the wheel hub. If you have the older axle without the C-clip, we will need to shave off some of the material off the shaft key. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shave off about 0.01 of an inch off the top, so just ever so slightly. And then we're also gonna taper off one of the ends so it slides in easy when you put it on the wheel hub. Well, we're gonna shave one for you guys to show you guys, and then we're gonna do a comparison between one that's shaved and then one that's brand new. So I just wanna show you guys a quick comparison between the one that we shaved off for the older axle. So this is a shaved, and then on the right side is new. So we only shaved off 0.01 on the top part, and then on the edge we tapered off the edge to make it easier to slide into the wheel hub. The key is less is more, so shave it little by little and test it out until it fits, and then you can install the wheel hub. Okay, now here is a comparison between the shaft key we shaved off for the newer axle with the C-clip. So this side is shaved and then this side is unshaved. So all we did for the newer axle, all you gotta do is use a filer and taper off the edge. And once you taper off the edge, you're ready to install. You don't have to shave off the top like you have to do for the older axle. We're gonna go ahead and insert a collar, and then now we're gonna mock fit the hub. Now on the newer axle, since we have a C-clip, the hub will be flush with the grooves on the C-clip. But if you have the older axle, you'll actually just make it flush with the base of the axle. But since we're using the newer axle right now, so we're gonna shift it back until we have enough space to put a C-clip. And then we're gonna push the collar forward until it's flush with the hub. And then we're tying the 2 Allen bolts on the collar to secure the collars. Step is we're gonna remove the hub. And then now we're gonna insert the shaft key. And then we're gonna slide in the hub. And go ahead and hammer the wheel hub until it's flush with the shaft collar. Just want to make a quick note, when you're hammering in the wheel hub, you do not want to directly hammer into the wheel hub. You want to have like an oversized socket or a little half crescent plate like we did, and then you carefully, lightly hammer in until the wheel hub is fully seated. So once you hammer the hubs in, you can grab a Allen key and tie in the Allen bolt onto the wheel hub. Once you got the wheel hubs secure, we're going to insert the C-clip. Again, I want to reiterate, this is only for the newer axle. If you have the older axle, you do not have to put a C-clip. So we're going to insert the wheel studs. Again, on the wheel studs, you want to thread in the long side in. Alrighty, so once you installed the wheel hubs, now it's time for you to mount the wheels. Make sure you put a washer before you secure the wheels with the wheel nut. Once you got the lug nuts in, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and you're complete with the rear axle installation.